Hey friends, welcome back out to the channel. You know what? I think it's been 4 months since I've done any sort of video whatsoever. No content, no updates, no nothing. January was my last video, and for those of you that follow me, I apologize for that. Life's been busy, and it's going to continue to be busy. I've got some family to take care of here coming up, and some other things that that I'm sort of dedicated to, but that's okay. I still got a little time here and there to do things, but I just wanted to give you an update today and show you what I've been into. I've done quite a few things actually. I just never have pushed play. Sometimes it just isn't, it doesn't work well, the timing isn't right, or I don't have the camera with me, whatever. But I want to show you, I hope if you made it this far, I want to show you something tonight, a rarity, something about as rare as a Sasquatch sighting. And it is this. The fact that I have two, yes, that's right, two projects sitting in my yard at the same time. Why is that rare? Well, at my home, we sort of abide by the one piece of crap per yard rule. Basically because I live in town and in a decent neighborhood, and we don't want it looking all white trashy, and it's a rule I agree with. It sort of keeps me clean, and but there are times when that rule has to be broken, and such a time as now. Number one, because I'm batching it for a few days, and number two, I gotta swap motors out. Alright, so what are we doing? Now, some of you all that have followed me from the beginning have seen this rail before. I've had this for a long time. This is Dougie Buggy. Of course, everybody knows the Smurfmobile. Everybody loves the Smurfmobile. The Smurfmobile, it has been with me since high school. Yes, that's right. A senior in high school. 25 years. And it's been remade a couple of times over. But yeah, we took this to the No Name Nationals. Built a 1904 cc Volkswagen engine. Did all this. Great engine. And ran it there. Ran flat nines even with the tires spinning, and I was very proud of it. Of course, we kind of broke it there at the very last, but if you're going to play, you're going to pay. So why do I have Dougie Buggy here? Okay, mainly it has to do with getting something licensed for the road. I've been in this hobby on and off for 25 years now, and really, I enjoy tinkering with it here and there and doing and going off-road riding. But the reality is, I don't ride it as much as I used to. I have a pretty busy life, and I'll tell you where I would really enjoy this is if I could ride the thing, one of these, on the street legally. The obvious choice would be the Smurfmobile, but the problem is that there is no VIN associated with this rail. I suppose you could do a special build title, but Kentucky is tough, and it's a lot to go through. So that choice, I think we're going to make. We're going to not do that one for now. But on the other hand, unless something falls through the cracks, this one has a VIN number associated with it. It has been licensed before, which means it's easy to get licensed again, and so I'm going to pursue that route. Plus, I love the frame. I've always loved this frame. This particular buggy was owned by an uncle of one of my high school friends. And so I saw this buggy back in its heyday when it was just pristine, beautiful, and everything. And of course, 25 years has done a number on it here and there. But we're going to bring it back. We're going to bring it back. I'm going to make it like I want it. Essentially, what I've got to accomplish in the next day or two is swapping engines over. This is the Smurfmobile's old 1641 engine I've had for probably the better part of 10 years. Great little dependable engine. These dual carbs have chokes, whereas these Webers don't. And let me just tell you, it makes a huge difference. Now, granted, these make a big difference on how they run too, but when the weather's a little cooler, it makes a huge difference. But yeah, so we got to switch that out and then get that one back down to Daddy's. That way we're back to the one piece of crap per yard. One piece of crap per yard. And yeah, very different buggies here. I love them both. It's like your kids. You know, you love one for certain aspects that the other doesn't have, and then this one, you know, has other aspects that this one doesn't have. In short, I'll go back over this buggy, but the whole reason I hadn't touched this thing in so long, like I said, I think I've had it maybe 7-8 years, something like that. For a long time, it just was on the back burner, and the main problem with it is that it had it was stuck in gear. I think, yeah, something about the transmission was stuck. I never could get it going, and I didn't want to fiddle with it because I'm like, oh, that's all I need is another transmission to work on, blah 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 blah. And so I just sort of put it on the back burner. But in wanting to get this thing licensed, I back at work at it again, so I sort of tinkered with it as soon as I got decent weather. By decent I mean like 40 degrees. But I worked with it and I worked with it and worked with it and finally got it loose. I changed out the shift coupler, which helped tremendously, but that wasn't all. This is a swing axle, which is different from that, which is an IRS. I guess it had been stored and put up dry, which is a no-no. I didn't do that, but whoever had it for me apparently drained it and didn't put it back, but whatever. In doing so, a lot of the detent balls, I'm assuming it's the detent balls that did it, or just some of the working parts in there. It just got to the point where they were tough to move, and long story short, reverse was just ever so slightly, I guess, locking it up, and you would have never known it, but we finally got her in gear and got the shaft turning again, and all is well. That gave me the green light for sticking an engine on it. I wasn't gonna stick an engine until we got that on there, but we did, and so it wasn't until yesterday that I got to get down to Dad's. We've been living in monsoons and crazy pollen season here as of late, and so I just hadn't been able to do anything on this. But essentially what I did yesterday, I've been plumbing things. I cleaned up and put together a whole new, this is the existing pedal setup, but I put new master cylinders on it. I plumbed it, sort of a temporary plumbing for now, back to the brakes and the clutch. The clutch is working great, but the brakes are locked up, and I was afraid that they would be, but I've got some brake cylinders, and so next item on the list, beyond switching the motors out, which I'm hoping I can do tonight. I don't know, it's starting to get a little late, at least to get it started. But yeah, we'll fix the brakes next and get those together. That way I can actually stop. I do know I have first and reverse. I've verified that with the engine running. I don't know about second and third because I'm not going to do that without any brakes, which is probably smart, right? But yeah, I did that. Oh, so I've built something. I'm not exactly sure if I'm going to utilize this console or not. I think I am to a certain extent because I'm going to rewire everything for the street. I don't like how some of that was done. It's kind of junky. It just needs a redo. And so forget that that's there, but we may utilize the actual dash in some form or fashion. But I built this little starter box. Now this is meant to be kind of a temporary deal, and VW Jawbreaker, if you're watching this, you're my inspiration for this, because I'm getting a twofer for this one, because essentially I used one of those 6-inch by 6-inch sort of field boxes that you can get there at Menards or whatever, and so I basically made a portable starter for, you know, starting engines off the stand, and that's what that is. It just slips right in there. But I'm gonna keep the frame, I'm gonna keep that frame there and pull that box out and put another one in that's got the speedometer on it, factory speedometer, and then do some sort of other starting panel somewhere in there. But anyways, thanks for that little video you did. You kind of inspired me on that. So yeah, I've done that, welded it up, built it, painted it, all that good stuff. So yeah, I've been busy, just not as busy as I would like. All right, so what are we gonna do? After we get all that taken care of, first thing on the list, beyond that, is we're gonna plumb our brakes so we can stop after we switch these engines over. There's a couple of things that grieve me on this buggy. Let me give you a sort of a aerial view. One of the main things that bug me is this, and I think I maybe said this years ago, or yeah, a couple years ago when I did the video. This isn't supposed to be like this. I understand why somebody would do it. It's very smart, especially because this rail, I'm 6'1" and in good shape. But this is hard for me to slide in, so I understand why somebody would do it. I think the guy that used to own it, I think he got in an accident and years ago, and as a result, this made it easier to get in. But it did something to it. I don't know. I had heard, if I got my facts straight, I think that it got flipped once. And what happens when you take this out, you take all the structural rigidity, and as a result, you can't really see it in this video, but the corner of this right here is slightly down. So if I were to take a measuring tape and measure from here to here, it's going to be slightly shorter than over there. So I'm gonna fix that. I've got I gotta get some 1-inch tube, and I've got some 1.5 inch, and so we're basically gonna splice that in there and fix it, paint it up. And to raise that back up, I'm gonna take a jack. Oh, hang on a second. I'm gonna take a jack. I think I can jack this in here and shore that up underneath there, and just slowly relieve that pressure that's there, and get that aligned and straight again. And we're gonna weld it back and put it like it's supposed to be. Oh yeah, a lot of stuff to do, but you know, it's worth it. It's a good looking rail. I love the design. It's you could probably tell it's a lot longer wheelbase than the Smurfmobile. The Smurfmobile is actually a little more comfortable, to be quite honest with you, to sit in. I just wish it had a little bit longer wheelbase and a little bit more foot room, but this one, it's nice and sleek. It's kind of like I call it a DeLorean shape, and they were good rails back in the day. It's what is it, a Fugitive? Yeah, they call that a Fugitive frame. Anyways, guys, well, that's what we're going to do, and that is the process forward. I will try to be a good content creator and bring you along for the ride. Oh, almost forgot. So I matched up the paint, and so I have some paint to sort of fix this with. I'm gonna do my best, and I'll probably just take little sections at a time and sand and blend that in and take care of a lot of that surface rust, and probably take a little mini paint gun and just get it back like it's supposed to, and clean and nice and whatnot. And so yeah, that's what we're going to do, and then we're going to be riding it on the road. It'll be fun. In fact, okay, so I don't want to jabber on here because I probably need to get to putting this together. I'm not sure yet, but heck, I don't know. Everybody loves the Smurfmobile, and I had a great time bringing some No Name Nationals, but you know what? If things go okay with this, I might just bring that to No Name Nationals and race it instead. That may be a different conversation for another day. Of course, I'm going to you know, put street tires on it instead of those rotted old tractor treads there. But anyway, that way we're compliant, basically do everything we did for the Smurfmobile to be legal with a windshield and all that good stuff. Anyways, that's it, guys. Quite a few things to do, but yeah, it's kind of neat. If I were going to run the Smurfmobile, I do have a 5-rib bus transaxle, which would be strong and bring the gearing down some. But the swing axle is plenty strong, except for the first gear. It's a little thinner. The ring gear is a little bit. That's a 437 ring gear, and that's a 412. Yeah, 412. So it would get me down the track quicker, but you know, it's basically where you get strong in one, you're weak in the other somewhere. But anyways, well, that's it, guys. I'm gonna get to work. I'm sorry I hadn't given you a whole lot, but we got some things going on, some fun things, and we're gonna keep going with it. And follow along if you're interested, and I'll try to do as much as I can to make it entertaining for you. So until, well, gang, it got dark yesterday evening, so I didn't film really much of anything worth shooting and getting the engines changed over, but nevertheless I got it. We got the Smurfmobile, got her original engine back on with the Bobcat Stinger exhaust. Still got to connect up a few things. Got to do the throttle linkage a little different than I did, but no big deal. I'll get that done today. And we got Dougie Buggy hooked up with the 1904 engine, and I think it's looking pretty sweet. So anyways, we're going to go from there and get everything connected and move on.